Hey everyone, this is Jennifer Sanchez. You are watching and listening to the Wise Coffee Chat Show on WRMN 1410. You can learn more about WRMN 1410 by going to WRMN1410.com. Go check that out. I know they're all at the games and interviewing, so there's different programming there. So make sure you check out their website and learn more. Now, who am I? My name is Jennifer Sanchez. I'm the founder of the Wise Alliance Network, the newest author of Wise Women Empower Women. You can find that book on Amazon, as well as I put networking events together, conferences, retreats, do a bunch of fun things for women. And then, of course, real estate investor and a mom of 3 beautiful girls. So that is enough about me. I'm going to pass it over to my guest for her to introduce herself. Laura, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you? Good morning. Can you introduce yourself to the listeners?
Sure, absolutely. I am Laura Santoyo. I am a mom, wife. I am also the brand owner of my own cosmetic line, Date Nite Beaute. Also, I just started a second business, Got Wealth Journey. So there's a little bit about me.
Oh, that's beautiful. So I know it's called Date Night Life, right?
Date Nite Beauty.
Date Night Beauty. Date Night Life. Why did I say Date Night Life? I apologize. My mind's somewhere else. We're live. So tell us a little bit about how did your journey start in this industry?
During COVID.
During COVID,
everybody, was on lockdown. We had a lot of time on our hands, and I'm all about education. So I just started first of all, we were out of a job, right? So it's like, what do we do? I was doing makeup, in person, and then that came to an abrupt stop. So I did a lot of research online. Just what do I do? Makeup wasn't my first choice. It was actually designing little T-shirts.
Oh, really?
Had a couple, sales from that.
Okay.
And then second was a fitness line. I was doing yoga clothing, athleisure. I was getting samples in.
Oh, very
Didn't
nice.
like it.
That sounds fun.
I'm like, this is not it. And then a friend of mine actually encouraged me to do the makeup.
Really? Okay, so the makeup, that's kind of how it all started during COVID. What were you doing prior to COVID?
A lot. I was going to college. I was divorced. And so I started my college, journey in 3 different jobs from...
Wow, you're busy.
Yes, 3 different jobs, and then raising my 2 kids alone.
Oh, wow, you're definitely busy. So COVID came, you started the business. What do you guys do in your business? Just tell us a little bit about the business itself.
We do a little bit of everything. So I started off with my makeup line. So that's DNB, it's Date Nite Beauty. We focus on botanical ingredients. So I feel like if we're going to wear it, that it might as well be good to our skin. And then I do hair and makeup. Hair is new, but I've been a makeup artist for almost 20 years.
Okay.
And then I brought in experiences probably about 2 years ago. We do custom lipstick and lip gloss making. So you can pick out your own base, your colors, your scents. You get to name it. So we can host up to 12 people in our boutique. We do parties. I do mom and daughter dates, sister dates, bridal showers.
Wow, that sounds fun. So you started through COVID, but you said you did a clothing line, you did T-shirts. Why the beauty industry? What's attractive to the beauty industry to you?
Since I've been a makeup artist, prior to that, it's the instant gratification of you making somebody feel good. And that makes me feel good. It's instant. And that just always gravitated towards me. I love how I can, and I tell people, I'm like, I can only accentuate what's already there.
I like that. Mm-hmm. I like that. I remember one time this one girl told me, she was like, your face is a canvas. And we just put color. And I was like, after she said that, I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense when it comes to putting it on makeup, right? Your face is canvas, and now you highlight, right?
Yeah,
features, placement. Right? That's one of the biggest things. So you love doing the makeup. And I think makeup is a big deal. I think women, my personal opinion, right? a woman that knows how to put on makeup and take care of herself and dress good, I think she can move mountains and move energies in room and carry herself in a way that like other women might not be able to. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I agree. I mean, there's times where you can just put on, your face of makeup and you just transform your whole personality and your mood. You can be sick for about a week, and once you put that makeup on, you feel good. You're looking good. You go back out there.
Wow. Yeah, I agree. And I remember, oh my God, I hated this. Like, I don't know. I never do this, but go out without makeup. Now I always have to have makeup on, or try to put it on, or try to do it here, try to do it in the car. But like, I don't want to be caught at an event, at a grocery store, caught at, anywhere, the bank. Cause then sometimes people like catch you and they're like, oh, you're Jennifer. And it's like, darn it, I look like a bum right now,
I get that too. And I'm like, yeah, it's the makeup.
Yeah.
Because I will go. I'm actually embracing more of my natural skin because of Gut Wealth Journey. So what I'm eating, putting inside me is actually showing up on my glowing skin. So I'm actually embracing that part too. But when I go out and they catch me with like no makeup, they're like, is that? I'm like, yeah, it's me. I don't have makeup on today.
Yeah, they'll be like, I hate the phrase. Sometimes people are like, are you sick? Like, no, I have no makeup on. Thanks, right? Because I know I could have like the dark circles and stuff like that. So you have a second business, or you're working on a second business.
I started, in March. I have a second business.
So tell us a little bit about that business.
That is Gut Wealth Journey, and I'm working with clients to either move stubborn weight, or they might have gut issues, which is primarily, I am certified in the microbiome. My gut here, like all of a sudden, just from a lot of personal experience, I've kind of been in the gym industry since I was 18. Oh, wow. I've hired 3 to 4 different trainers through my lifetime. A lot of experience there. And then they teach you a little bit about nutrition. I was a caretaker to my mom. She was 17. She was on 17 pills when my father passed away. And when I got to be her caretaker, I got her down to 4 because I implement what I know, which is food, mental health, and physical activity.
Wow.
My best friend was diagnosed with cancer last year. She did not do chemo. She's also, very holistic on her end. And by stripping away the foods, she is now 1 year out, a little bit more, cancer-free.
Wow.
Yeah, all through food. So she's actually one of my speakers at my events that I do in my store. I host free educational classes to just get the word out on how to be a best advocate, just with food alone. And then I have a mental health worker who also speaks at the classes.
That's pretty cool. So you do classes at your location talking about health and wellness, right? You said a word, microdome. Microbiome. What is that?
It's a lot of trillions of bugs that we have living inside of us. I feel when we feed our good bacteria, they do all the amazing jobs for us. Serotonin is made in our gut. So a lot of mental health. My mother did suffer from mental health, anxiety and depression. And when you feed your good bacteria, the serotonin is made. And then that is your gut and brain connection. Oxytocin, which is the lovey-dovey hormone, weight loss. I can actually, with the foods, activate the GLP-1 hormone that we have. So I do actually have clients that come to me after coming from the GLP-1 shot, and it hasn't worked for them, or they had adverse reactions, and now they're moving the scale.
Interesting. So okay. You gotta bring it back. Bring it back to all of this. I'm trying to follow you. I'm all about health and wellness. I've always been an advocate for that. So GLP-1, I know that's right now people are taking those shots it's really a diabetic shot, isn't it? Or explain that.
Yes.
Educate us on that.
I'm surface level, and I'm actually going to study more on the GLP-1 shots. But yes, majority it is primarily made for the diabetic. But other people have been using it, if they need it. I am no judgment, no bias, but I've always been an advocate for doing it with food, and found out that we can activate, with the right foods, the GLP-1, the same thing that the shot is doing. And
through food. Oh, it's food is probably more economical, I'm going to assume.
Yeah, I bring it back to ancestral living, and I teach them about, so it's a 4-week program that I do. Week 1 and 2, we do a gut reset. So I strip away all the foods. I provide the menu. I provide daily.
Cool.
You put me in the back of your pocket, basically. If you're at the grocery store and gut disruptors, ingredients that are gut disruptors that we're eating, actually tear away at the mucus lining of our gut. And create holes. And so then these bad bacteria seep into your bloodstream, and a lot of the illnesses that we're having, anxiety, depression, Alzheimer's, dementia, is showing up because of that. But so week 1 and 2, we strip the foods, you get a gut reset. And then week 3 and 4, I teach you on feeding the good bacteria, prebiotics, probiotics, fermented foods. And we also get a scale. So they get a scale and they weigh in, they check in with me. And I just say I have a private Facebook group as well. So I'm really walking through the program with you hand in hand. And it's kind of nice because I already have this conversation with my makeup clients. I can tell when my makeup clients come to me and they're stressed. So I'm like, what's going on? Whether they're stress eating, they're not eating well, it's showing up on their skin. So now I get to take it out of the makeup chair and bring it to the clients.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So it's like a whole connection. And
well, that was going to be my next question. Like, how did you go from beauty, makeup, right, and then going into this gut health?
So I think how I showed up here was just my personal background with taking care of my mom, taking care of my dad, and then my best friend, dealing with my own weight loss problems since COVID. I'm like, I could not lose the weight anymore. I went to the doctor, got my hormone panel checked, which my doctor didn't want to give me. I'm like, I will pay for it myself. I got my thyroid check. Everything was good. Everything was coming back normal. I'm like, why? And so they wanted to send me to go get the shot. And I was like, no, I'm going to do this. I'm strong. I'm not to say, you're not strong, but I just knew that this wasn't the way for me. And so I just kept at it. And with all these other factors going around me, helping other people with the food, I just kind of all put it together with my experience. And I was like, this is the way. Actually, my husband, he has sleep apnea, and he had 2 surgeries, a tonsil removal. Nothing was working. I said, babe, let me do it with food. Within 7 days, I was able to help him tremendously, like 70 to 80% better. And so currently right now, I told him, I said, go back and go get another sleep study to see where we're at right now. Because this was happening earlier in the year when I was changing his diet. I couldn't sleep at night. I was constantly giving him a nudge. And, sleep apnea, like that's scary. So I was able to improve it significantly with food.
Wow, like food definitely. I mean, you hear it all the time, right? Like how food can heal people. People can heal themselves through food, but sometimes people don't take that into consideration. They just want easy ways out, right? Easy alternatives. And I love that you're doing this through food, right? So, I mean, I have so many questions. I'm trying to figure out which is the right question now to ask you, right? When it comes to working with someone, especially like you said, I look at their skin, right? And I could see what's going on with them through their skin. So how do you do that? Tell me.
So that was more of like my makeup client. So if I have a client who comes with me, on a periodic basis, I can see the changes.
Really?
So as far as like switching over to gut wealth, I do a Google form intake, and then we have a consultation call. So then I talk with them and just kind of figure out what have they done, where are they struggling, and where do I fit in? And am I a good fit? And are you a good fit? Because honestly, I had recently a patient who has 1 kidney.
Oh.
And only because she was very on top of her numbers. She showed me like her records, her blood work and blah, blah, blah. And she was very knowledgeable, like how to take care of herself. I felt comfortable enough to take her on as a client. And we worked together, and she did post a review after she was done with her program, and she had so much success, so much knowledge, and I love that for her. And she got the needle moving again. And so she found value.
It's a four-week program?
Currently right now, it's a 4-week program. I am studying to get my health coaching certification currently. And so with that, I'm going to build out a 12-week program. So we'll then have a 4-week and a 12-week.
Wow. That's pretty cool. So someone, if they want to reset their gut, wow, I'm still, that's amazing that you're doing that. So where do you do this out of this program? Is it virtual or is it in person?
I do it virtually. So we have Zoom meetings, we have phone calls. I kind of meet you at where your busy schedule is at. Some people take calls, when they're maybe driving or something. So the Zoom is not, the safest. So I kind of try to make it accessible to them, but it's all virtual. So I can take anybody in Texas or Florida, or, we don't have to necessarily meet. I provide everything by text message and email. Okay. And then Zoom meetings.
So tell us a little bit about actual, just if someone, let's say they can't take your program, but they want to just start eating healthier and healing their gut, what would be the first thing that you would tell them?
I have 2 rules. If God didn't make it, don't take it. And then be a better advocate as far as reading ingredients. If it has too many ingredients that you can't pronounce, your body probably can't pronounce it or can't process it.
That's actually pretty cool. So the first rule is if God didn't make it, don't take it. I like that. And then you said if you can't pronounce it, your body can't process it. Yeah. That's super cute, actually. I hope you trademark this or you make t-shirts or something, right? That's actually really cool. So what do you mean by for those that are listening, right? What do you mean by if God didn't make it? So pastas, right? Pastas, is that something that you're nope, God didn't make it?
Can you go pick pasta out of a garden?
You can't. That's why I was curious. Okay, so no pasta.
Yeah. And so I really bring back ancestral eating, what our ancestors were doing, because we stepped away from that. We became more business and a profit. And what does a business want to do? They want to make the most profit. So all these cheap ingredients that they're putting so that they can get shelf life. Have you ever analyzed bread these days? Come on. It doesn't spoil anymore. It will stay on a shelf for I've had it and I talk to my clients. They're like, yeah, it doesn't mold. That should be a wake up call to us that what is it doing in our bodies?
Oh, that's deep.
Just do a test, buy one.
Yeah.
Leave it there.
I'm pretty sure it's there and no one's eating it. So, now that I think about it, I'm like, oh, so okay, I just went to Mexico, right? And I came back and I was like, I loved going to Mexico and I loved because I was able to eat so much and lose weight, right? It's because it was all natural out there, right? You don't have to worry about preservatives and all these things that they put chemicals in the food. How do you handle that here? Because, right, even our vegetables, right, they're processed a certain way. They have pesticides and all that stuff. What do you tell your clients? So
I also tell them this because in my program, I also say the ultimate wellness, right, is to try to get organic USDA. But some people, it's tough on the pockets. It is. And so I tell them start where you can. If it's going to be protein 85-15, do it because it's better than, all the other junk and preservatives that we're eating. And gradually, and this is why I call it a journey, gut wealth journey, because this isn't something that you're going to get overnight. This is education so that you can implement it over a lifetime. And so I always say, start where you can. My husband actually just recently made me a garden. And I know, I love it. And so I'm like, oh my God, you smell like cilantro.
That's really nice.
It smells amazing. And if you can, be in control and it tastes so much better.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I did have a couple clients who went to Mexico and they had the same epiphany that you just stated right now. The food is so much cleaner over there.
So much cleaner, fresh you can eat. And it's I was like, I'm worried I'm going to gain all this weight when I come back, right? And I was like, no, you lost weight. I was like, oh, that's so cool. Yeah. I need to go more and eat, right? It's no barriers compared to here. And then, of course, everything's fresh and people don't get it. I'm like, I'm going to move out there someday, right? And just live off the land because that is amazing. I had a friend that actually did that. She moved to Missouri. I think was it Missouri, and she just lives off the land. Everything's in her land, the river, the generator. She actually they make their own electricity through whatever generator. That I think she says it powers back to town because they're in the mountains, right? So it's and then she has all her chickens and goats and all her livestock plus her gardens. I'm like, man, that's got to be a beautiful, peaceful life, right? Away from the hustle and the bustle. you know. So what about like dairy and stuff like that? How do you feel about dairy?
So my gut reset is definitely no grains, no dairy. No. And so when we get into week 3 and 4, it's more about diversity also. So then we start putting back some of the foods. And so dairy, we eat off of a fat. We get our energy from fat sources. Sure. So dairy can be in cheese. You can put it back as you can tolerate it. But then if you see like, okay, I am getting these, symptoms or my skin, then you might want to scale back again.
Oh, because people can get allergic reactions from certain foods, or not big allergies, but like, sometimes when people break out, and that could be an allergic reaction, correct? Yeah. If I'm not mistaken. So dairies, you tell them to pull back. I just know one time I was trying to go vegan, like my hardest years ago, but I was only able to I could cut everything out except cheese. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's the Mexican in me, right? Because how can you have a taco and not put cheese on it, right? Or how can you have
cilantro and onion?
Cilantro and onion. You're like, no.
And it feeds your bacteria. So let's go.
No. Well, maybe I need to try it again, right? Or even pizza, right? What is the substitute for pizza if you're not eating cheese? Just tomato sauce?
So, and then tomato sauce could be just the acidity. So stripping away the foods again, but pizza's not on our menu. I live an 80-20 lifestyle, and I do implement that with my clients because we can't be completely strict, right? So if pizza wants to be your cheat day, put that in your 20, have it, and then I think the more that you're on the journey, you realize I'm flaring up when I eat pizza. So maybe let's not.
What do you mean by 80-20?
80% of your lifestyle and not a day, because my clients would be like, is this a day? I'm like, no, it's not a day. It's more of a week or a month's time. So you're probably cheating maybe 4 to 6 times a month. Okay. But you really want to learn, and this is what I teach, what grains can do. And they actually bind to our nutrients. A lot with the scale. A lot of people are deficient in water and protein when they come to me. Wow. And if you're a woman, you need protein when you get into perimenopause and menopause. So I'm more of let's be preventative and let's get those numbers up so that when you get to that point, you're not struggling with symptoms.
Oh my, 80. I like that 80-20. And you give how many cheat days?
Well, I was like, hold on. It depends on you and your goals, So,
okay, that's pretty cool that because I was like, when you kept saying 80-20, I was like, well, what do you mean by that, right? But that's how you're coaching
my clients.
Your clients.
Yeah, I don't think we should ever be 100%. You know what I mean? We still want the chocolate cake.
Of course, yeah. And I know I keep hearing you ancestral food, right? So it's everything that our ancestors would eat, right? May I ask, what's your background? Where are you from?
Mexican.
You're Mexican? Mm-hmm. What part of Mexico?
Reynosa, Tamaulipas.
Okay.
Border.
Well, okay. There you go. I didn't know that. I wasn't sure if you were Mexican. So
I get that all the time.
Yeah, we'll talk about your upbringing and stuff like that, because I'm just now curious, right? A little bit more about you. But what we're going to do real quick is we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk more with Laura and learn more about her story. What does she do? Why does she do it? And actually any things that are coming up, she's going to share with us. So make sure you guys, stay tuned and talk to us soon. All right, we are back, and you are listening to the Wise Coffee Chat Show on WRMN 1410. You can learn more about my show by going to also wisealliancenetwork.com, where you can find us on YouTube and all the social media handles, Wise Jennifer Sanchez, Wise Coffee Chat. But we're here with Laura, and we're talking about her businesses because she has this great business in Berwyn, right? You got your business in Berwyn, but you're also virtual. You have your gut, remind me the name of the
Gut Wealth Journey.
Gut Wealth Journey, where she helps people reset their gut and heal themselves, essentially, right? Through food, right? And I love the fact that we're talking about this because I think a lot of times food is part of, especially like our culture, right? Like, I don't know about other cultures, but Latinos for sure, we're like, it's big. Like, I don't know, like, I want to feed people all the time. Like, I want to go, like, if someone's sad, and maybe you can relate to this because you're also Mexican, right? Like, I was trained, like, when someone's sad, go take them out to eat. Like, if my sister's having a bad day, I'd be like, let's go get lunch.
For sure.
Right? If someone passes away in his funeral, what do? Sometimes I'm like, let me make them something to eat. Let me provide food. Let me make something. So, like, I think food is really, it's comfort and it's part of our lives, right? It's like, duh, we have to eat to live, right? But I think it's more than that. Sometimes when you're dating, where are you going? Mm-hmm. Let's go eat, right? Like, it's usually like, it's just everything's revolved around the meal and the eating, and depending on the culture, like, I remember, like, my ex-husband's family is from the Middle East. I swear we ate like 10 times in that house. Like, it was like meal after meal after meal after meal. And I was like, I'm done eating. And my ex-mother-in-law was like, keep eating. Like, she was like, it's disrespectful if you don't eat. And I was like, but we just had like 2 lunches already. And then it was like, now we're gonna do dessert, right? And now you're gonna do like a extra tea with the extra food. Food is just so vital for us. So what are your thoughts around that?
And so, and as you were talking about the eating, actually, one of the things that I do teach my clients is the gut reset, because we're not meant to eat constantly. We never give our gut a rest. And then we wonder, we're inflamed because everything that we put inside of us, shows up on our bodies. We know when pizza made us, feel tired afterwards, and so that's our body telling us, but we normalize it and it's normal. But no, when you start changing the gears, you're so much energized. I went to Vegas earlier this year, and no alcohol. And I had so much energy, and, I was on my 80-20. And I was like, wow, I can do this again. It was a different vibe.
Yeah. Are you big on intermittent fasting?
I do. Intermittent is different for everybody. Like, there's liquid, there's water, and the length of the time. I've recently been doing OMAD, which is 1 meal a day, just because I'm not hungry, because now my body is getting its energy source from the fat, which is what we eat, healthy fats.
Healthy fats, okay.
And so I liquid fast as in my black coffee, bone broth, waters, teas, and then I'll eat my 1 meal.
Oh, okay. So that's what is that called? The fast?
Liquid fast.
Oh, liquid fast. So, okay, you said another word, omni or
OMAD, which is 1 meal. Yeah, it's 1 meal a day. OMAD.
Okay. So now tell me a little bit about your upbringing. Where were you raised? I'm just curious. I know we talked about it offline, but I want to talk about it.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Joliet, kind of back and forth with Texas, too. I kind of grew up a couple years there going to school. My parents migrated back and forth. But, I was on the east side of Joliet. We didn't have a lot of money, and dinners were rice and beans and tortillas and eggs with hot dogs. And
eggs with hot dogs is a delicacy, all right? Like, I was just telling that to someone the other day because it was funny. I was saying, I was like, oh, what do Mexicans eat for breakfast? I forgot who was asking me, someone here. I was like, oh, you can eat chilaquiles or eggs or whatever, right? Like, I'm just trying to think of all the things. And then I was like, eggs and hot dog. And then they were like, eggs and hot dog? Like, they were so offended by that. And I was like, wait, that's a delicacy, first off, right? Like a lot of Hispanic homes do that. And then when I went to Mexico and I'm, eating at the restaurant at the resort, guess what they were offering? Eggs and hot dog. And I took a picture of it. Now you reminded me to show it to that person. Like, look, this is what we eat. Like, because they were like, I don't want to go to your house. And I'm like, don't worry about my house, right? Yeah. This is just what, I don't know, growing up as a kid, that's what my parents would give me, right? It was comfort. I don't know.
And now, according to my guidelines, the eggs and hot dog meet the requirements for your protein.
Oh, really?
So we can have it.
So I know protein's a big deal. I love that you said as women, especially like I like to lift weights, and I learned about the way you eat affects your body from marathon running, because I remember like I would go like train and I knew I had a good training day depending on what I ate. So if I ate really bad the night prior and I go run, it was a horrible run. But if I ate really healthy, really good, no alcohol, just really healthy foods, my run was amazing and I felt great after a long run, right? So, but protein's a big deal when you're lifting and you're doing these things to keep your muscle mass, right? So do you have a specific requirement on how much protein to eat per day, especially for women, or do you just kind of like eat a lot of protein? How do you go about it?
So in my program that I teach, no, we're not calculating protein according to your weight. And in the fitness world, they do have a calculator. They do. And you could do that if you're trying to reach goals, certain weight goals or muscle, intensity increase. I'm not about that. My program is getting a gut reset, feeding the bacteria, the good bacteria, getting rid of, and it goes even further as far as SIBO and SIFO, which is short intestine bacterial overgrowth and fungal overgrowth. And these are things that are happening. The more people that I talk to, the more people have this, then they're just living in silence. Exactly.
You got me thinking like, wait, what?
So we have the bacteria and it's supposed to be in our colon, but it then can go into your short intestine, which is upper. And when clients have reactions to the food and almost immediately, that's because your bacteria is in the upper and not in the lower. Therefore, the reactions come because they're eating it. They're now fermenting it because they're going at your food that you're digesting. Yeah. And so, that's a whole other like in-depth that I get into with the program. But there's all these issues that food is having. And it's amazing at how many conversations I have with people that it's more common than people would think.
Wow. I'm flabbergasted right now. So you're telling me bacteria from colon can go up and be in your intestines. Why is that? How is that? Diet?
Well, maybe diet, but how, I'm not there yet. I just know that it's there and a lot of people are suffering from it. And so when they go to the doctors, they might get some medications. It might not work. And so I try to target it with food. And next, bacterial strains, which is going to be my next project. I'm going to be fermenting yogurt with bacterial strains to serve to my clients that they would take on a 4-week regimen.
So do you do like yogurt? Yogurt's good, Greek yogurt? Or
we do coconut yogurt.
Okay.
Because again, with the dairy.
Sure. Yeah, because you try to stay away from the dairy.
And a lot of people can tolerate it more. And they were like, oh my God, this is good.
Now, what about cheeses? What do you tell them if they a cheese substitute? Like if they can't eat cheese?
We eliminate it.
Eliminate it completely.
Yeah, eliminate it. It's really, it's a dairy, it's an inflammation, and they can, if they can tolerate it, sure,
Wow. So you go case by case per person
for
also,
sure.
Right?
Yeah,
how
absolutely.
they react, how their bodies react.
Absolutely. And that's why within the 4 weeks, I am with them, text messages, if they have a problem, if they're having symptoms, I check up on them. If I don't hear from them, certain things that are going on, like I'm your gut bestie. I don't know.
No, sometimes you need
we talk about poop.
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, there's an accountability, right? And sometimes that's the biggest part, right? Like they say you could go to the gym. I forgot that you probably know the statistic or the number, right? You can go to the gym and work out all the time, but if your food's not right, that doesn't mean anything.
100%. Right? It's not the 1 hour you put in the gym. It's the 23 hours of what you're putting on your plate.
Correct. And then, I mean, my trainer's always on me about like, what are you eating? What are you eating? I'm like, leave me alone. You know, like, but it's true, right? Like when it's the gym is just a part. I think it's what is it? Is it 80%? Is it 80%? Someone here that's a gym, right?
Food.
80% food, 20% gym. Yeah. Is it something like that?
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So like if it's only 20%, if the gym's only affecting 20%, the food is the more important part.
And so this is another thing I tell my clients. For the first week, if you're at exercise, don't exercise. I actually tell you don't exercise because I need you to see what food does to your body. And they check in with me for 7 days, every day, every morning. They tell me what they ate. If they got off their meal, the scale will show it because we use a smart scale. And so it shows me everything from body fat to body mass to your water, your protein. So I can actually assess and tell that you had a tortilla or not exactly. But if you had a carb or sugar, I can tell you, and then I'll ask you, and then you'll be like, yeah, you know, it was this. Or they're like, oh, I went out and I got a coffee, but it says all natural. And then they'll send me the menu and then what they ordered. And I'm like, this has syrup in it. Mm-hmm. You know, it's those hidden ingredients that is basically getting, you know, the public to where we're at, you know, with illnesses and, you know, weight gain that we don't know where it's coming from. But my clients walk out of the program more knowledgeable.
Yeah. It was funny because I just had this conversation with my trainer because I was like, I love the Starbucks drinks, right? And I'm like, I only do like 1 pump of the syrup because, you know, they put 3 in the grande, right? Like I just do 1 pump of syrup, soy milk, no whip. Literally, that's how I order it all the time. And she was like, okay, so let's say that's 100 calories. I was like, and she's like, and you do that 7 days a week. I was like, that's 700 calories that week. I was like, you're right. That's like a burger. I was like, you're right. That is a burger, right? Mm-hmm. But people are not thinking about those things, especially when you're having all those syrups and sweet stuff, right? So I like that you're even sharing this because people are not aware. They don't pay attention to that.
In my coffee today, I have cinnamon, Celtic salt because we're under mineralized. So it provides 92 minerals. It has a monk fruit. So that's what I sweeten it with. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. So monk fruit and a dash of nutmeg. So I use spices also for our health. You know, so I go back to the real ingredients. The
ancestral. Mm-hmm. And so when you're saying ancestral, are you going like ancestral, like Mexican spices and herbs, or what are you referring to when you say ancestral?
No, just things that are grown from the ground naturally. Basil, cilantro, mint, you know, it can be a plethora of, not necessarily, you know, Latin culture.
Okay. And I'm just curious. So you grew up in Joliet. And you grew up also part in Texas, right? Mm-hmm. And you said, you know, it's humble beginnings, right? Where are you now? You're mainly in what area?
So I'm in Berwyn, and that's where the boutique store is located as well. So I'm a 5-minute drive from there. But yeah, I'm in Berwyn and I can work with clients, you know, that are anywhere.
Mm-hmm. And you also lived in Aurora?
Yes. After 18, I was my first marriage and I moved over to Aurora because I had 2 sisters already over there. Mm-hmm. So I moved over there and I was pretty much over there until through my divorce. And so I was divorced for probably a decade. And then I remarried recently. That this year is going to be our 5-year anniversary.
Oh,
and
congrats.
I moved in with him right before COVID, 2019.
Oh, and through the divorce, you had your business?
No.
Okay.
No, my business was born in 2020 during COVID.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then this Gut Wealth was born this year, 2026 in March.
Very nice. So how has it been balancing as an entrepreneur and being a mom and being a wife? How is that life going for you?
My kids are older. So my daughter's 24. She lives back in the Aurora area. My son, he's 20, going to college. And it is actually currently, because of the load of managing 2 businesses, I'm actually off of social media, deleted the apps just to kind of focus on, I'm studying again for health coaching certification. I do believe in education. If my divorce taught me anything, I walked away with nothing. because it was a toxic relationship. And I'm like, I can rebuild again. And I started going to college. I also took bartending classes.
Wow.
I've got certification in organizational behavior. I was always about getting education because that was stuff that could not be taken away from me. And that's one thing that I learned through the divorce. So I'm 45 now and I continue to learn. And during COVID, that mentality got me to where I am with my makeup business. I am a researcher and I love to educate myself. I actually rebranded my Date Nite Beaute during the 6 years. And I was going to hire a brand manager. And I'm like, no, I can teach myself. And I'm YouTube videos and podcasts and learning about branding. I rebranded my current logo that is actually, I haven't posted it yet, but is now officially in trademark.
Very nice. It's funny because when I met you, when we met at that dinner through Maida, and I remember you were like, yeah, I'm the founder of Date Nite Social.
Beauty.
Wait, Date Nite Beauty. I apologize. Date Nite Beauty. And I was like, I know that logo. That was the first thing that I think I told you. I was like, I've seen that. I just didn't know where I've seen it, right? So that's good, right? That someone recognized when you said it, I recognized the name. I might not necessarily know who you are, but somewhere in social media or marketing, it came to me before. So when you said it, I was like, I've seen it. I just don't remember where, right? But that's good.
Yeah, that's an incredible feeling.
Yeah, because then people can recognize you and you don't even realize okay, I'm doing really well with my branding or however I'm putting myself out there, because I think that's important, the branding side of it.
For sure.
You know, how do you brand yourself? How do you put yourself out there? And so did you combine your brands from your beauty business to the gut business? Is it very similar? Are you cross branding with one another, or what are you thinking about that?
As far as right now, they are two separate entities. It just happens to be that they mesh well together, especially if you're a woman. I feel like what we feed ourselves then shows up in not only our emotion, but on our skin, our moods. So when you're feeding yourself well, and then you can also, you'll have clearer skin, your moods going to be more upright, but also when you want that little glam moment, and then you feel, so now you're losing weight, you're feeling good, you got your makeup done, you're like a whole powerhouse now.
It makes a big difference. It really does. If you feel good, you look good. If I think I could see why it works together. They both work really well together, right? Similar, I remember when I went through my divorce, right? I started kind of finding my identity. I'm sure you read it in my chapter of the book. And I remember okay, trying new things. How am I going to look? Dressing a different way, right? Getting the makeup done, getting the hair done, right? That adds, that just makes you feel better. Once you start feeling better, you're going to do it more repetitively. And then I think when you feel good, all the great opportunities are going to come. I think people, when they feel bad or don't feel good about themselves or feel they have low self-esteem or whatever they're feeling, depressed, opportunities are not coming to them, right? I think that we will attract all these great opportunities when we're feeling good, men and women, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be just women, because all of a sudden I see this comes, that comes, this opportunity, that opportunity, and you're just like, whoa, what's happening? It's because you're just feeling good and you're attracting those things.
I totally believe in that. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, what do you feel since you've gone through a divorce? You said, I went to bartender school, I went to school, I started doing this, I started doing that. I'm sure that opened a floodgate of opportunities.
My exact thought process was, who am I now? Because I was a wife, I was taking care of the house. I didn't have the college education under me. And so I had to reinvent myself literally. And that's what I shot after. Doing education, working 3 different jobs, raising 2 children, putting them in sports. So yeah, it was really about reinventing myself for the next decade. I didn't know it was going to be a decade, but it was a decade.
The more you invest in yourself, the better, right? It just adds value to your life. And I tell students all the time, or anyone, it's no one can take away this education and no one can take away this skill. You can take it and keep growing it and doing what you will, but once you have that education, who can take that away from you?
And I tell my children, make sure you have money coming from different buckets, sources. I can do your makeup. I can serve you a drink. I can give you a gut reset. I'm going to find a way.
Yeah. And that's a skill. That's a skill. So I tell my students all the time, I better never hear you broke. I better never hear that you're broke, that you're struggling for money, that you're looking for money. I don't want to hear it. And they know. I'm like, because you guys have a skill, go out there and use it and sell something or do something, right? There's no reason. But again, that's just me being like mom here,
And when you say broke, I say, well, you can be bent, but not broke, because it's all about the vocational. It's Tony Robbins, the transformation in vocabulary. Like you're not stressed. You have lots of opportunities. You got to switch the wording.
So tell the bent. What do you mean bent and not broke?
Bent meaning, well, I think broke has a deeper meaning, like, oh my God, I'm broke, I'm poor. No. You're bent. You might not have as much resources as you would like. You can come from that. You can rise from that. So it's just a mindset, and which something else I always try to incorporate in my gut wealth clients, as far as like, oh, I can't do this, or they might have sugar cravings and whatnot. And I was like, you got to change the mindset about what you're putting into your body, because we're not waiting for a diagnosis. Let's not get to that point. Have we looked around to see how many people are being diagnosed with this and that? Let's not be there. Let's change the mindset. This is healthy for us. This is good to our bodies. This gives me energy.
Yeah. And you're going to spend the money. So if you're going to spend the money, spend it on preventative care.
For sure.
Right? Spend it on healthy stuff. Spend it on things that are going to be good for your body versus, because if you get sick, then you're spending money, but you're spending it on medication, doctor bills, hospital bills.
Effects, and it affects other people in your family. It might affect your children. It might affect your partner. They might have to take care of you, stuff like that. So it's being also, not selfish. Let's be not selfish now so that we don't get to those points. Yeah.
And that's probably the best thing you could do for your family, right? Taking care of yourself. Because you're right. If you're not functioning well, how can you take care of your kids? How can you function for your children? How can you function for your family or house or whatever, right? I think it's really important. And that's something that even I'm sure everyone has to think about, especially like a single mom, right? Like my kids depend on me. I need to be as healthy as possible because they need me.
I was a caretaker to my mom for 7 years, and that was something that I had to learn. If I don't pour into myself, I can't take care of her. And if I don't take care of her, she doesn't have anybody.
That's great. That's all great stuff. So if someone wants to get in touch with you or get to know you or reach out to you, where would they go? Where do we tell them to go? I
do have 2 websites for the boutique, and we're by appointment, Date Nite Beaute .com. It's DATENITEBEAUTE. Beauty is with an E. I want it to be different, but beauty is with an E.com. Gut Wealth Journey also has its separate website, gutwealthjourney.com. Social medias are all the same handles.
So that's where they go. So if anyone's looking, they can reach out. Now, if someone wanted to enroll in your 4-week course, what's usually the steps around that?
They can contact me by email. I also am available by text message, which is 708-317-5073. You can text, call. The email address is the same at gmail.com. Just put in the subject line, gut reset. Or the website also has the 4-week program and other options. The phone number's on there. The email's on there as well.
There you go, guys. So there you have it. If you guys want to reach out to Lauren, get your gut right, health right, makeup right, that's where you will go. I love the fact that we have you here, that you spend the morning with us. I really appreciate that. If you guys want to learn more about me, make sure you go find me, Wise Jennifer Sanchez, all username handles, Wise Coffee Chat, and then go to WRMN 1410 to learn more about them. So thank you so much, guys. You guys have a great rest of your week. God bless you guys.